Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, yo, boys. Here we are.
Cracking, lads.
Bro, I'm feeling fucking great vibes right now. I have a feeling this fucking podcast is going to be our best one yet.
Yo, banging, dog.
Bro,
episode 23. What's cracking, everyone?
I thought it was 22, so I'm glad
It might be 20. It might be 22. I can't.
It's 23. It's 23 for sure. I can see it on my notes. Bro, I want to start the podcast here with a really fucking good idea.
With a bang?
With a bang.
With a bang?
Yeah, fucking harder
like
than
Afghanistan or different?
like Mia Khalifa. Bro, okay, here's an idea I thought of the other day while watching YouTube.
Hit me, dog.
Have you ever had that feeling where you want to watch something different than what you usually watch? Like, you have your recommendations.
So like sometimes you're like, it's been hentai for a while now, so let's like, you know what I mean? Let's try some blacks.com.
Bro, all the time on porn. But on YouTube especially, like, you see the shit that you always get recommended and you're like, I just want to watch something different.
Yeah, I feel you.
Here's a fucking phenomenal idea for YouTube. You should have an option to allow you to open a session. So you open a new session and then you can sort of give it a genre that you feel like watching, or you can watch something that you don't usually watch and it be excluded then from your normal recommendations.
Ooh, I actually like that.
So you press start a session at the top and then you can say, okay, I want to listen to classical music, which I don't usually listen to, and I don't want to get recommended this later because right now I'm in a classical music vibe. Or I feel like watching anime on YouTube. I don't usually like anime, but I feel like watching it now. Please don't recommend me this later.
Or if you could just have a thing which said like, I want to get recommended something that's not recommended to me.
Yes. Just start a fresh session.
Yeah.
Just give me what, if I just opened it on incognito, but then I would not have ad block.
Do you know what it is? It's like back in the day, the homepage was not stuff catered to you. It was just like making on the homepage is a big deal.
Yep.
You know
and here's another fucking phenomenal idea for both Pornhub and YouTube, because when you normally refresh the page, it's half the time it's the same shit. Like the first four, there should be a refresh button. And you press refresh, and for a second it loads, and it just thinks, and it thinks, and it thinks, and it gives you a brand new front page.
Yeah, I vibe with that.
Bro.
100.
I'm telling you, YouTube, give us some fucking cut of that idea.
Give us some cut. Yo, I mean, talking about great ideas, maybe this can be the fucking thesis statement of this episode. Great ideas, right? So, gambling. In Australia, we love a good gamble. We love a punt. You know what I mean? Everyone's gambling.
Hit the slaps.
You can gamble now on the weather. You can probably gamble on like a child's gender that they're born with. What I want to know is what if, Sportsbet, Tab, fucking Neds, any of those lads, what if they open up a new betting system, which was who will be in charge in Afghanistan in a year's time? Will it still be the Taliban? Will Joe Biden fucking run it back, dog?
Will a new rebel force take over?
Ooh, who are you thinking?
The milk bucket of Afghanis.
Yeah, that'd be sick, bro. Shout out to the lads. What if the cartel decided we wouldn't mind a piece of land? They got a lot of opium in Afghanistan. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. They're like one of the biggest supplies in the world.
Well, actually.
Apparently, yeah.
They're fucking so
I get all
rich.
my facts off other podcasts, so it could be drastically wrong and maybe they have no opium, but that's what I've heard.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to fucking use us in their capstone project for a fucking PhD.
Might, though. That's the thing. I mean, we're intellectuals at the end of the day. We're intellectuals. You know what I'm saying? That's all we do, bro.
You know what was fucking hilarious?
Yeah.
So, by the way, if you guys don't know, we've got a Discord, link in the bio. I was chilling with some of the boys on fucking Discord. We had a fucking sick chat. We had 11 people in the chat.
Yo.
And so I was talking with maybe 6 or 7 people. It was probably 1 a.m. or something like that. Shout out Toto. I know he was there. Young Tomo, I think he was there as well. Fantis, he was there as well. Anyway, so we were chatting and I brought up the fact that I had a degree. I don't know how it came up. I was like, oh yeah, when I was in uni, this and this happened.
I know how it was. It's like back in my day when I was an educated lad, sophisticated, lived on campus.
I was like, when I was in uni, I fucking hated doing this and this. And then everyone was like, wait, what? You went to uni?
Wait. This is the sound of an educated man?
Yeah.
The same man that said watching tentacle hentai was completely fine and not a problem.
I fucking like tentacle shit.
I know you do, bro. It's a problem when we go to the aquarium fucking whirlpool and you start jerking off the octopuses, dog.
Far out, man.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
Whirlpools. The whirlpool, when I mean that, I mean the rock pool in the aquarium where you can like reach your hand in and like, touch animals.
Whirlpool forums?
They're pretty good as well. Meat spin, useless. That kind of stuff. That's a whirlpool. No, if you put your hand in, right? Because there's like sometimes sharks, there's rays, you know what I mean? If you put
whirlpools.
Well, they're like rock pools. So, but they're made so you can reach your hand in and like touch the animals and stuff like that, I think.
Okay.
Maybe you're not meant to touch them, but I think you are allowed to. If you touched a shark, right? Because you can do that. They can be like these mini kind of Port Jackson sharks, which are like the ones that kind of lay on the ground rather than like always swim.
Yep.
If you touch it and it bites you, are you allowed to punch it ethically?
Absolutely.
I think so, right?
Absolutely.
Surely.
And I don't
if
think
it gives you a little nibble and you just fucking, you know what I mean?
I think that all of that shit, like when it comes to sharks, at the end of the day, especially if it's in wild. If it's in the wild, if it's in the wild, like if it's one thing, if it's in fucking Thailand and drugged up and you can take a photo with it, shout out my fucking DP from 2015. That's one thing. If you're in fucking nature, don't take any chances.
Baz the kind of guy who's like, oh yeah, so if a great white shark would come, no, I'd swim to the side and then just punch it in the nose and he would run off crying.
Thumb in the eye.
Thumb in the
Or
eye?
the ass.
Ass first, eye second.
Yeah, bro. But
Ass first, see if it's like if it wants to play, you know what I mean? If it's down for a little game.
Oh, fucking hell. Bro, that shit is always so fucking scary. Like you see those TikToks where like a scuba diver's just walking and then he looks away for a second and a fucking shark swims over him.
Yeah. Bro, I literally saw one and so the way like diving and scuba diving works a lot of the times, especially if you go like spearfishing, is you'll have like a buoy or a buoy, you Americans call it, but a buoy, the rest, yeah.
We've already discussed
Jesus
this, I remember.
Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a buoy, so the little floaty thing with a rope that goes down, and it kind of is like a way that you can like track where your shit is and like where you are in relation to the water, right?
Absolutely.
And so this guy, he was diving down. He was actually scuba diving. That's the one with scuba diving, the one with the oxygen.
Yep.
Not snorkeling. So
that's scuba diving. Yeah.
Man was scuba diving and he was going down to this crab trap, which like this was this big metal thing. I don't exactly know how it works, but he was just picking up like traps and stuff. He had a spearfish. He shot a couple fish, chucked it in his bag, and he was going up the fucking rope, and he had to stop for a second to I think it's called depressurize, which is where you get rid of all the pressure out of, so you don't die of.
As you go lower and lower, the pressure gets higher and higher from all the water on top of you.
What's the thing you could die from?
Too much pressure. Oh, sorry.
Is that the scientific term?
No, you die from a change of pressure.
Yeah,
so it's when you go from the bottom to the top or
Do you
from
know
the
what
top
it is?
to the bottom.
I think you can get like a bubble of air in your bloodstream or something like that, which can give you like a heart attack or some shit like that. I think it's called pressure sickness. Anyway, he has to stop, and there's a period of time you have to do it. I don't actually know how I haven't done my PADI course yet, but he stops this fucking monster of a great white. Not like one of those long, thin ones. One of those big-ass bitches just fucking swims underneath him with like a school of those little sucker fishes that always hang around fucking great white sharks.
Yeah.
Just cruises by him like maybe 2 meters underneath his feet and just fucks off. And he's just like, oh my God.
The scary thing about that is that you can't just swim
up.
You have to sit there and you have to go up. I think it's 3 meters at a time.
Yeah.
3 meters at a time, and you got to sit there for another 2 minutes and then go up another 3 meters and then stay there for 2 minutes, depressurize, and keep on going up.
Bro, 100%. It's so, and you start thinking in your head like, all right, I have a spear gun. If it's like dives at me, I'm going to use a spear gun to like stab into it and try and push myself to the side.
And then
like,
push comes to shove.
Underlay.
All the tactics go away.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then it is what it is.
You shit your pants and you get eaten by a shark.
Bro,
Did you think shitting your pants is a good strategy? Because then you're less appealing to the shark?
Yeah, because you just smell like shit.
What if you do the monkey strap where you throw it at it?
Can you throw in the water?
I don't know, bro.
This is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Have you watched or have you heard about that incident where someone off the coast of, I think it was Nigeria, there was a shipwreck. And you know when the boat capsizes, so it's in the middle of the sea, it was like in the bottom of the sea.
Does Nigeria have a coastline?
Oh yeah, because it's on the water. It's right on the edge. It's on the corner.
Yes, you're right. I was thinking of the river system that goes through. Anyway, you
So it had sunk to the bottom, but you know how if a boat sinks down, an air bubble can be trapped and you can actually breathe underwater?
Wait, what?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, it's the way that people walk underwater with a bowl in their head.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. No, but I didn't know if it could just be caught in there and you just walk in and suddenly you're fucking breathing.
You can. Absolutely, you can. It's phenomenal when you watch it. Like you don't understand how it works, but it works.
But you can't breathe forever with the fucking bowl under your head.
Whatever oxygen is there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can have a hose, obviously a bigger hose, not a garden hose.
Yeah.
But you can have a hose that connects it to that, and you can breathe there forever.
Sure.
And it'll automatically repressure because it's connected to the outside world.
Yeah.
But essentially, this guy had this capsized boat, and he was stuck there for a week. And he was able to breathe from that, because it was such a big boat. He was able to breathe there for, I think, a week. And then when he finally got rescued by scuba divers, it took them, I think, 8 hours to get him back to the shore. And it was complete pitch darkness because he was underwater, I think, 30 meters.
Jesus.
And yeah, it took them 8 hours to be able to repressurize him back to the normal. Imagine how scary that would be after finally being rescued a week later. And then someone fucking saying, okay, it's going to take 8 hours to get you back to shore. Otherwise, your head will explode.
Bro, it's like, remember in the Thailand where that cave collapsed? And there was a soccer team down there?
Yep.
And remember that like everyone knew that they were down there, but there was a period of time where they didn't even know if they were going to be able to get it. Like imagine that. Imagine the whole world.
They don't know that we're there. They don't know that we're looking for them.
But imagine if they did, right? Imagine if we kind of found them, but we couldn't get them out safely. And you're sat down there thinking like, fuck, am I going to die even though the whole world knows and they're trying to save me?
It's fucking scary.
Do you know what I mean? Like that shit's fucked, bro.
It's really scary, and it really makes you realize and makes you realize how much faith you need to have in the human race because of how quickly and how hard the earth can put together its resource to fix a problem like COVID. Who knew that in 2 years, like if COVID happened in the 1800s, it would be Black Plague. It's that simple. It would just be people would just die.
The Black Plague was more deadly, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Like it killed people quickly.
Yeah, but they didn't have the technology. They didn't, and also I don't think it's just technology. I think they didn't have interconnectedness so that the whole world could put their combined brain power and combined resources together to fix a problem.
Yeah.
No internet, no telecommunications, no nothing.
There was also a lot more religion,
Blocking.
infused with science back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh no, if we pray hard enough, we're not all going to die.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? I think it came into Italy first.
Plague?
Maybe they spoke about it first, but it was a fucking ship that sailed into a port with people dying, and the Black Plague was really fucking aggressive with how it looked. There, you have all these, I forget what they're called. They're like these little, maybe cysty kind of things that like leak pus. No, it's from the fleas on the rats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched a fucking video about it. It was pretty interesting. Bro, but like it's crazy to think you have these little kind of like blisters, kind of pussy shit all over your fucking thing, and it's just a ship floating in. It's like no wonder there's so much.
Imagine if those people were just not selfish and just decided to be like, we're fucked, we're gonna die, and then no one else will.
Yeah, but humans are innately selfish.
Yeah, and that's why we became so great.
Exactly. That's how we survived any stage of our existence.
Exactly, because we were like, we don't want to fucking have to hunt. How can we develop a system that means we can just sit at home and the animals will reproduce for themselves? And that's how horticulture came out, which is horticulture, not horticulture.
I was like, what is horticulture? Are you talking about guys farming. We fucked the podcast? What do you mean?
Fucking hell.
Call it daddy? What? That's horticulture, right? Hot girl summer, baby.
Oh my God.
Fucking hell.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking something the other day. This is very controversial.
What's that?
We're going to do a quick pause just in case we need to cut it out.
All right.
So this is a controversial.
And we're going to keep the pause if we don't cut it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you have a girlfriend and if she gets drugged in a club or whatever, and then some guy takes advantage of her, you're probably not going to think that she cheated on you, right?
Right.
You're probably going to be like, all right, I'm going to be empathetic. I'm going to we're going to work through this together, and maybe she needs some therapy or something, but we're going to work through it together, and I'm going to be on her side.
Sure.
My question is,
okay,
at what drug will you stop forgiving her? Like if someone just gives her a joint and she smokes it and then she cheats on you, I don't know.
You're not drugged then. That's
I know. I'm not going to take her side. If it's GHB, yeah, I'm taking her side. But
I also think it's like, what does that mean? Because like I completely believe that a girl can get too drunk on alcohol and she can't properly give consent. I 100% believe that. But if you're talking about like,
agree, totally agree.
Like there's a difference between someone physically forcing versus someone not physically forcing, and someone just being too drunk to actually give like appropriate consent, if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
Like if your girl goes out and gets really drunk and sucks some guy off, her getting really drunk doesn't change the fact that she sucked his dick.
Yeah.
Him pushing her in a car and her being so disorientated, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And like, is that, I don't know, is that controversial?
I was worried it was going to become controversial, but my thought was, what drug would you no longer forgive her? Like if someone, oh man, it's like, and the thing is, what if she voluntarily took the drug, knowing that it, like, obviously if someone gave her a gin and tonic and it happened to have GHB in it, obviously she didn't know that it was going to be GHB in it.
Yeah, that's roofie though.
Yeah,
that's
but if someone said, here's some pills, do you want them? And she was like, yeah, sure. And the pills effect, and it was a real pill. Like it was the right drug that he offered her, but she didn't realize the effect would be that crazy. And then she hooked up with another guy.
I think the issue is did she get, I guess this is the real question, because let's take away like actual sexual assault, rape kind of shit, because like that's a different situation.
Yeah.
But there is a difference between getting alcohol given to you, you getting really drunk, the guy getting really drunk, and you guys having drunk consensual sex.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not consensual. I don't know the logistics behind it. But if
It's such a gray
if both
area.
of you are absolutely obliterated and you fuck, is it that
It's
no one's...
hard to say that it was consensual because
But how
if
how
everyone is drunk, you mean?
yeah,
All
everyone's
parties.
they're all the same level of drunk. They're all just fucking blind drunk. And
It's,
some
it's
shit happens.
such a gray area.
Yeah.
I think society tends to take the woman's side
I know,
for
but
a fair enough reason, given the last 2,000 years of humanity. But
is that fair enough reason?
just because of the context of typically men oppressing women.
Yeah, I know, but the sins of the forefathers don't equate to the sins of the current, yeah?
Absolutely.
Meaning, like, I
Absolutely.
get if like she's saying like, no, he did this, he was sober. That's obviously because we've seen people who try like, I guess I haven't actually seen it in place, but you've heard about people trying to get other people drunk, and like most guys, there's this whole culture that people think that like guys sitting around saying like, that was a good one when you fucked that drunk chick. It's like,
Absolutely
bruv,
not.
me and all my mates, if we saw a fucking guy trying to walk a stumbly blind drunk girl down a road, and he looked like he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy you throw in a fucking bin. Like, you do not, most guys do not, because most guys have, everyone has mother, some people have sisters, people have friends or girls. Like, no one wants to see people get like fucked over. I guess the gray area comes when, if you're both completely drunk, like, how does that, because saying
How
that
do you work it
immediately that's non-consensual does kind of take away autonomy from a girl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it makes them seem like they're less in control, which is just, it's kind of almost going against the feminist movement, isn't it? Because it's
Yeah. And the other question I was going to lead to as well that we just kind of got touched based on was, what are your thoughts? So, okay, so here's a more rookie question. We'll get to what I was going to ask you before.
Sure.
Do you think it's necessarily cheating if your girl is getting free drinks from guys at a club and just taking them?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, but what about drugs?
It's not cheating, obviously, but like, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's irresponsible. It's like,
Yeah.
firstly, drugs are dangerous as fuck.
Well,
from the get-go. Like, you don't know if it's what you're
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. But like, I don't have that mentality. Like, some people have a mentality where it's like, if you're dating a girl and she goes and does stuff, you have to be like worried because what if she does something? And like, my mentality's always been like, if she does something, she's a fucking hoe, bruv. At least you know now. You know what I mean?
But with drinks, if you're at the bar and you see the bartender pouring it, then you're probably fine. But with the drug, as a guy, there's no, unless the person is like a gay guy and he's trying to take advantage of you. Okay, sure. But what are the odds of that? So most of the time, there's no motive for them to give you, like, to lie about the drug that they're giving you. But with a hot girl,
Cardi B rapped about fucking drugging guys and taking them back to their hotel and robbing them.
fair enough. Fair enough. But getting robbed is a lot better than getting like sexually assaulted.
Yeah, of course.
I'll take getting robbed 1,000
No,
times.
the reason why I made that caveat is that like, the idea that like, oh no, well, what if you take a drug and you cheat on me? I don't believe that's like a real thing. It's like, if you take a drug and you cheat on you cheated on him. It's not the drug a drug doesn't make you suck a guy's dick. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that, you know what I mean? Like, sue me, dog. So, but like, I think it's more just stupid. Like, why are you risking, especially because I think a lot of times, I don't know, girls tend to be smaller stature, you know what I mean? Maybe like less heavy.
On
and
average,
stuff.
yeah, on
On average.
Yeah.
And like significantly on average.
Yeah.
It's not like it's
What
a
is it,
small
like
medium.
4 inches shorter?
Bro, it's like
on average?
5'4" is the average girl's height. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well,
like,
is it 5'4"? I thought it was 5'5".
maybe it's between the two or something like that. I've seen both, but either way, like, the reality is drugs are probably going to affect you more intensely than a guy. Like,
On average.
for most, on average, I would gander. There are definitely going to be women who are fucking tough cunts with that, and there are going to be blokes who can't handle anything.
Yeah.
But like, you are taking a bigger risk when you're taking this shit, and there is the whole
And
sexual
there's motive.
Yeah,
There's
exactly,
motive
yeah.
for them to lie to you.
Yeah.
More than there is normal person.
It's also like, buying a drink, I think, is one of those like kind of harmless things where it doesn't usually work. If you buy a drink and a girl sleeps with you, it wasn't the drink that did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like giving a girl drugs, that's so much more forward, I think. Just to clarify what I meant, you can obviously get drugged, but there is a difference between a girl doing drugs with another guy and then hooking up versus a
Her
girl
getting drugged.
Yeah, getting drugged, or like being so far gone and the guy being in a clear state of mind and obviously taking advantage. Because obviously we have full sympathy for all girls out there experiencing that. I've known plenty of girls who've gone through it and it sounds absolutely 100%. Horrible. And those kind of guys are the guys that should be thrown fucking under the jail. It's disgraceful, that kind of shit.
Absolutely.
But there is plenty, like when people go out and drink and, you know, smoke weed or do drugs, a lot of times they do just do drugs and then have consensual sex. And I think that is the gray area we are talking about.
It's really scary when you learn that your mate has been accused of assaulting a girl, sexually assaulting a girl. It happened to me in uni where he was accused and he, like, his explanation was fair enough. But my girlfriend at the time was close mates to her. So her explanation was enough for me to stop hanging out with him, and which was fucked because he lived right now. He was literally my neighbor in dorms, and I just
Do I know this guy? Did I meet this guy ever?
No, you never met him.
Okay,
but like this guy, he was a fucking great guy. We would hang out all the time, and it just even though it was just an accusation, and it was enough for me to completely stop hanging out with him, and I just saw him completely different, and it's
because like. I don't know. You don't like the, you know what I mean? When you have sisters, when you have, you know, like female presence in your life, like there is a part of you being as a guy who is somewhat protective, you know what I mean? Because, and like, it's silly because, you know, there are plenty of fucking badass girls out there who can handle themselves and all that kind of stuff. But there is part of you where you're like, you know, if there is some physical shit that goes down, I want to be able to protect those people I care about and like make sure that they're all right. But like, it's so hard when you hear that because you're right. Like you hear that about someone and that could change exactly what you think about them.
Well,
you know
another thing is, and this is what fucking really got me.
That made no sense, by the way, but like you get the gist. I
get your gist. And another thing that fucking really hits hard when you start dating girls is that it's scary. Almost every single girl that I've gotten serious, like, you know, I've gotten like really deep with, every single girlfriend that I've had, every like girl that I've had a extended fling with, almost 100% of them have been sexually assaulted in the past, or like didn't consent to something that happened.
Yeah. And it's crazy because
it's scary,
bro. As a guy, a lot of this shit happens, and you're like, so like, there's been plenty of times when I've gone out to a club and like a gay guy will slap me on the ass or something like that. And like to me, because I'm not physically threatened,
you take it like a compliment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got a thick ass.
I did like my shoes today. Cheers, man. But like,
as a girl, it's a whole other board game.
Especially like, because a lot of girls do actually get, and I think this is important as guys to like understand this. A lot of girls do get intimidated by blokes. Maybe they don't show it on the outside. Maybe they're like, they've got the tough, cool girl exterior. Yeah. But a lot of the times when you have guys walking out there who maybe they're the same height, but they're so much bigger and stronger, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so there is this physical intimidation, and that's why
it's also the freezing aspect. Like sometimes you just freeze up.
Yeah.
And even though you know what to do, it's sometimes hard to do that.
And I think it's important as guys, because I've definitely like when you compare the three, I'm 100% a fight. Like I know plenty of girls who freeze. I know people who run. I'm like, there are times when I'll watch a horror movie, right? And so I'll be like on edge and it'll be like nighttime and I'll think I hear something. And I go from being scared for 1 second and I'll turn into the bad guy in the video game. Like there's a game, I can't remember what it's called, but like, you know, the games where you're like hiding in the closets and stuff like that and the guy's patrolling around and stuff. I'll in a switch turn into
kick the fucking wardrobe.
I'll be like, there was a movie and it's like, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. And I'll fucking go, like, there was a time where I'm like, I'm walking, opening doors. Like, I hope you're in here, bro. I'm gonna fucking kill you, bro.
You riled yourself up.
Yeah. And I'm like, bro, if someone was there in that second, it'd be so bad for that person because I was so like, you know what I'm saying? And like, the thing that I have to like account for is that that's not most people.
Yeah.
Most people, like, at night, they're afraid of the dark.
Yeah, avoid conflict. Avoid making a scene. Yeah.
I'm very comfortable in that kind of like chaotic environment. And so I think as blokes and as, you know, girls, this isn't just like a lecture to blokes, but like it is just important to like, it's like when you're playing, if you've got a little brother, you have to understand your strengths because you might not think you're punching him in the arm hard, but you know, he's got a bruise the next week, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it is, you know, important to take care of, make sure you look after the girls in your life and stuff because a lot of them will have stories when they get older and like you want to do your best to make sure you can, and not shelter, you know what I mean? Like women are strong people and stuff like that. But like, you hear too many girls in today's society who tell these stories, and it's like it's really fucked.
Yeah.
You know, and you grow up, you're
sad.
18, you're hearing
really
Ben
sad.
Shapiro say, well, actually, the statistics show you it's actually 1 in 6,000. And then you start actually talking to
and
girls,
it's
and
fucking
it's such
100%.
cap, bro. So much.
And this is a sad thing because obviously not 100% of men are raping. It's not 100. It's a very, very small majority of men are doing it a lot.
Yeah, we spoke about this. I don't know if we spoke about this on the pod or just like privately, but it's like there could be one creepy guy in the club who gives 30 girls that night a story.
Exactly.
Which is fucked.
Bro, fuck. I want to change topic here.
Last thing I'll say just is like, if you've got a girl in your life, you know, whether it be a sister, a mum, a friend, something like that, who tells a story, don't just dismiss them, no matter who it's about. Yeah. Maybe it's about your best mate.
It's very hard to dismiss anyway.
I know. I think a lot of people do it. That's the thing.
Changing taxi, but not completely. I still want to talk about girls for a bit. But I mean, on a positive note, on a 100% consensual note.
Now that we've fulfilled our feminist obligations, tits or ass, what do you think?
No. So what are your thoughts on open relationships?
I don't know. Yeah, I think like at the end of the day, no one thing is going to work for every person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because I've been in an open relationship before. You know this. I'll explain the story and you already know it. Okay. I don't want to get into details about her, of course.
Yeah.
But essentially, what the story was is that, you know, I'm always a big fan of setting clear boundaries. So as soon as we got in a relationship,
I think that's important.
Yeah, I told her, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend. Do you want that too? And she was like, hell yeah. Like that's exactly what I've been thinking for the last few weeks.
I was like, but I also want to fuck other girls.
No, but this is the thing. Because we both knew that she was going to go on a holiday for a month afterwards, like 2 weeks afterwards. And
were you in a relationship?
But we had just got like 2 weeks after we got official.
Yeah.
So the bond wasn't that much. And in my head, I was like, I don't want to be thinking about you when you're on holiday. Like I want to be doing my own thing. And I want you to have the freedom to do your own thing. And this is 100% honest.
Just and you did your own thing.
No, anyway, so
do we have to cut that?
No.
Okay. 30 minutes in, you know what I mean? She's not going to listen to that full way.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, and for me, it actually worked.
I hated that other girl, the one in that break.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, she's a cunt, bro.
Why?
She just gave weird vibes.
Did she?
Yeah, she wasn't very like friendly.
Yeah.
Whereas the girl, the actual one, she was like lovely. You know what I mean?
She was awesome. Yeah. Anyway. It was fucking awesome. Yeah. I didn't think about it one bit. Like in my head. It's not
an open relationship though.
Why?
Because an open relationship is like, it's the shit you see on TikTok. It's like the guy filming where the girl walks to the car and she's like, my husband picking me up after my date.
Oh,
that's such a different like vibe. You know what I mean? Like the girl, you know, your girl texting you like, oh, don't come home tonight. And you're like, why? I'm getting my cheeks clapped.
That's okay. That's completely different. But in that aspect, it was perfect. And when we saw each other again, like the bond was incredible. It was like even more.
By that point, you're bored of the other girl. You're like, I missed you.
No, but also because
Baz likes tall girls, and he sees the one next to the other. And he's like, I know which one I like here.
She was like 5'6", the other one.
I know, and the other one was much taller.
Anyway, like I do think that like
it all depends on work. It depends on the people, bro.
It depends on the vibe. It depends on the circumstance. It depends on everything.
What do you think about the idea of rich people getting rich and then all of a sudden just having wife swap parties for no reason? I don't know why pedophilia and swapping your wives is such an elite thing to do. It's just what happens in the upper class. I think
my thought about
that. Sweet Chris just popped in with a face like, what?
Well, my thought on that is the same on like, you know this stereotype that rich people like watch poor people fighting and they bet on them, like Fight Club, underground fight clubs.
Yeah, it's called boxing, bro. What do you mean?
Oh no, but like underground, like fight to the death clubs, and then they bet on the rich person. Oh, sorry, they bet on the person that's going to win.
I thought that was poor people.
Did Chris just say no? We don't.
Yeah.
I think about it the same as that. It's like if you've got too much money that normal shit doesn't entertain you, just watching a movie ain't enough.
Should we talk to Chris over the phone for like a few minutes? Ask him what he thinks about fighting old people.
I won't be able to hear it.
Oh yeah, okay, fine.
I'm so fucking keen to be able to get a phone. Do you have any input to this? He just nods in disdain.
No, he said yes. We love fighting poor people. It's really fun.
We like watching poor people fight to the death.
Because there's one less poor person at the end of it.
Let them get a bit hungry first.
Yeah, you have them fight to the death. The other wins. The other eats the other. Suddenly, there's no hunger, and we get entertainment. You know what I mean? Wait, is that a euphemism?
Yeah, I was about to say that too.
I offer them my sausage. Wagyu beef.
Oh man.
What do you think about expensive cuts in non-expensive foods? Like
Expensive
Wagyu
cuts?
beef sausage. It seems so stupid,
It's
right?
like what you were talking about before with like a fillet steak, by the way, the most expensive steak.
Yeah.
In a stir fry.
Yeah, like filet mignon in like a fucking beef stir fry. It's like the idea of this is you make a shit cut a good cut. Like that's the whole reason why all the third world master.
It's like if you slow cooked a fillet steak.
it's like India, bro. I heard this
Wait,
fucking
what is it? How is it like India?
well because most of their shit is like it's almost like stews. Like the meat sits in the fucking in liquid.
Yeah, so they can
which
take
means-
advantage of the whole cow.
Exactly. But
I
like
love
the
that.
longer you keep it there, the better it is.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Which means like you can make a shitty fucking cut of chicken or shitty cut of beef. Tastes so
incredible.
good through. That's why whenever I fucking meal prep, I always put the meat and the sauce at the bottom and then the rice on top so that.
Flip it upside down.
Well, yeah, but like throughout the week, it actually means the last one you have still tastes fucking beautiful because it's
Possibly
literally
better.
Exactly, bro. There have been times when I've ate one a week later and I'm like, even chicken breast, which is notoriously the last one you want to kill yourself while you're eating it. And it's still like, shit, this is like fucking mad flavorful because it's just been marinating in this sauce for a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fucking marination is beautiful.
Bro, I heard this thing. So fucking comedians, Akash Singh, Andrew Schultz, all those boys on their podcast. Schultz said this fucking mad interesting concept, right? Because Akash got married. He's an Indian guy. He had an Indian wedding, which means obviously they had Indian food. And he's like, yo, Indian food is the best for weddings because when you have steak and fish and suddenly you're having to cook 300 steaks at the same time and have them all come out, it's always shit. Whereas when you have like Indian food,
You
which
just make it all at the same time.
yeah, and the longer it sits there, the better it is.
Yeah.
Which means like
I didn't even think
you're
about
not
that.
even worrying about like, oh fuck, we have to cook, 300 steaks and get
Well,
them
Indian
pretty
food at a
much-
takeaway is just sitting there all day. And it's
Exactly.
incredible.
And it's fucking beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
That's why that's what scares me most about Indian street food because it would just be sitting there all day like every other street food.
Yeah.
Yet it still kills your insides apparently.
Bro, that's the fucking thing. I think probably the top wedding I want to go to, because I go to a lot of Arab weddings because I'm Arab. The top wedding
What's
I
a
want to go
lot?
to that's not Arab is, like 3 or 4 in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is quite a bit. Like how often do people that you know get married? At our age.
I have a big family.
Young
That's
20s.
different.
I got a big family too.
You don't have come on, bro.
Okay.
I have 30 first cousins. Maybe 31.
I probably have around 20.
Okay, but they're not real first cousins. They're cousins you've spoken to 3 times who like
I've only got one set of cousins that I haven't spoken to very much. But the rest of them I know. And recently I've spoken to them quite a lot.
right.
Quite a lot meaning a lot more than 0, which is 1. But I really want to attend a Desi wedding.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. Because I just see the videos of it and the saris and the...
Specifically at a Hindi or Sikh wedding.
Absolutely.
Just because, not to disparage the Indian Muslim community and stuff like that, but I think just something about the fucking crazy festivities. And those are the only 2 I've seen. I don't know what Muslim weddings look like, but I've seen like Hindu weddings where they have fucking elephants and all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, bro.
Well,
It's multiple days of events.
Well, an interesting thing about Indian Muslims is that it's a very low percentage of Indians. I think it's 10% of Indians are Muslims.
20%, bro.
Like,
It's the second
sure.
biggest religion in India.
Yeah, but India has the second most amount of Muslims on the world. So Indonesia's first and then India's second.
Yeah.
Because just the population, the sheer size of India in terms of population is incredible.
20% of 1.4 billion is not a small amount.
Exactly. So it's the second most amount of Muslims on earth in a country is in India, even though they've got a relatively low amount.
I wonder if it's all up north. Because you know how like
Probably, yeah.
Bangladesh and Pakistan were,
yeah.
that was all Pakistan or something like that at one point. And then they split it up and like Bangladesh was like East Pakistan or something like that. But there was like some weird kind of shit going on there. I thought Pakistan was mainly Hindu, but it is
mostly.
mostly.
I think
But
vastly.
then Nepal, I think is predominant. It's like a mixture of Buddhism. It's fucking
Nepal
crazy.
has almost no Muslims. It's mostly Hindus.
Do Muslims not like the cold? Like the mountains?
There's a good chance that they don't. I'm sure there's some science
Do you
behind.
reckon they don't
but-
have grippy enough shoes? Because living in the desert, you don't need to wear New Balance shoes. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
You don't need some fucking hiking
But you
boots.
need cover. That's why they're all fucking wearing hijabs and fucking dish dashes
Yeah.
for the men.
I love that that's a word. I only learned that word like a fucking 5 months ago. So that's the one that the Saudi prince will wear, right? The
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the thing
dish
with the
dash.
like.
Not the Saudi prince, Saudis.
Is that all Saudis?
All fucking Saudis wear that.
I think I'm only exposed to
Even
Saudi princes.
non-Muslims. Even non-Muslims wear it.
Really?
Yeah, it's cultural. It's not religious.
Yeah, because I've heard that I don't know which ones these would be called, but like like the Prince of Persia style shit, which you like have over your head, but then you like wrap around your face. It's almost like
that's more to protect yourself from the sand.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's like it almost looks like a female's hijab, but with like a thing to cover your face as well, so just your eyes are like looking through.
Exactly.
But that's like some shit like for fucking
It's like some Tom Cruise fucking Mission Impossible.
It looks so
shit.
sick. I'm not gonna lie,
bro.
Arabic soldiers back in the day look bagged. They got like fucking horses and shit. They got the curved swords and stuff. The scimitars.
Curved? Yeah, scimitars, bro. Fucking rune scimitars.
Is it scimitar or scimitar? I can't remember.
Scimitar.
Yeah, that shit's dope, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of cheap cuts of meat, what that made me think about is cuts.
Bad pussy?
Haircuts. Do you remember back in the days when short on the side, long on the top used to be the only instructions we gave?
Oh, bro, I
How
got
far
so
have
many.
we gone from that?
Well, I got so many bad haircuts back in the day that I like. So I went to this local place and there was just a picture of a fucking white guy on the wall.
Yeah, and you just say
"It's
like him.
that one.
And he doesn't look anything like you. His hair's completely different to you.
35, has a beard.
Yeah.
I'm like,
How far have we gone?
Yeah.
Now I say number 1 on the bottom, fade it to a number 3. I give them exact instructions.
bro, because I'm a fucking pale white guy. So like I would always be so scared about skin fades. I'd be like, oh yeah, can you cut it, but like not too short. You know what I mean? Not too short. And now I'm just like, yeah, skin faded up, G. Like fucking.
Fucking fades are incredible, bro.
Yeah.
There must have been the rise of the fade. I reckon probably
Like Drake time.
mid 10s, like 2015, 2016 probably is when it started up.
I wonder what Drake has. I wonder if you could quantify what Drake has done
To the
to
barber
empower Muslim people.
Is he
Or
Muslim?
not Muslim, like Arabic people.
Is he Muslim?
No, but every Arabic dude has the beard like Drake and the fucking.
I'm going to say it's the other way around. He just fit into the thing that most,
No, bro.
because I don't think I did not take my look
You're
from
different
Drake.
because you don't like rap.
Yeah, I don't like rap.
A lot of Arabic people like rap.
Yeah.
I'm by
But
the way.
DJ Khaled has the same look.
Do you think people are copying TJ Khaled or do you think they're copying Drake?
Bro, I'm
The
just
6'2"
saying.
guy who fucks bitches or the fat fucking bowling ball?
I thought you almost meant that DJ Khaled is 6'2". I didn't know he was that big.
Man built like one of those fucking inflatable beach balls that you throw around a festival, dog. Except he's clearly too heavy. There's no helium in that motherfucker.
Dude, fucking hell, man.
No,
DJ
and by the way,
Khaled.
for people who are offended from different parts of the world, I'm specifically talking about the Arabic Sydney man, which is a specific class of Arabic people.
With a fade, the exact same beard.
Yeah.
Very, very sharp beard lines.
Very structured beard. You know what I mean?
The issue is, and as someone with a very
They're
structured
the only
beard
people
line,
who get threaded. They get their eyebrows threaded and stuff like that. They put a lot of effort into presentation.
Bro, but
Respect
that's
to them,
bro,
dog.
it looks so dirty. Like now in lockdown, I just fucking let it grow. But I haven't let it grow, but I've not really cared too much about the beard line.
Sure.
It's so essential. You just look like a fucking dog with rabies if you don't cut it, because it goes all the way up, almost until your eye, maybe 2 inches for the Americans, or around 5 centimeters, around the size of my dick, down from your eyes is where the beard will grow up to. So it doesn't stop fucking climbing up and up and up. So you need to have a fucking line where you
Yeah.
just continuously shave it to that point.
And it sucks as well because like certain people, you're right, they absolutely need it. Because some people are like crazy hairy. Like the thickness of their chin up underneath their eyes. But when you have it too sharp, it does look like you've tried to have it too sharp. And it looks like
I would
almost,
rather that than I'd rather have like a crazy beard.
No, you're right. But it's funny that
Feral beard.
it almost, because like there's great beard genetics in like Arabic people. But it's like you almost want that look that like it's grown out, but you haven't perfectly styled it. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's almost impossible for a lot of them because like it's just the genetics are too strong. Like
Yeah, fuck.
you shave it off and the next day you've got a fucking 5 centimeter beard. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's so strange because Arabs are like, I mean, all Mediterranean is sort of like this. Even like Greek people and Italian people, you'll see it as well, where we have strong beard genetics and usually very hairy all over. I'm pretty lucky in that I'm actually relatively not hairy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's lucky or not, but you know, I've never even considered shaving my arms or fucking my legs or anything like that, which I know a lot of people like in my extended family that do it pretty often.
Bro, I know a lot of, you're right, Mediterranean people who get like their backs lasered.
Mostly Greeks, actually. More Greek than I know than Arabs.
It's because the Greeks like wearing Speedos.
Because they're like so much more liberal, so much more developed. They're at that stage where they just wear Speedos.
Do you reckon it's I've heard people say this thing. I've heard Schulte say this thing where it's like all these cultures in Europe, they've almost like they've stopped trying to be the economic hubs of the world and the powers of the world, like Greek and Italy and stuff. And obviously, there's a lot of financial trouble.
Just give it up.
No, but do you think it's a point where, like, when you've been the leaders of the world for so many years, you kind of realize that the capitalist materialist like plight is not one that ends in happiness, and they realize like, no, it's really more fun if you have a break at 4 p.m. and come back at 8 and you drink wine with every drink.
Amazing.
What?
I wish we could take the siesta concept from the Spanish.
What's the siesta concept?
Well, I've heard that in Spain, it's very, very common for shops to be open, say like a restaurant, like the cafe is open from 9 to 11 to cater for breakfast, or maybe 8 o'clock till 11 to cater for breakfast and coffee. And then it just won't be open from 11 to 12 because the owner will be having a siesta. And then 12 to 2, they'll cater for lunch. Between 2 to 7 until dinner time, they'll also just be closed. And then 7, they'll reopen for dinner. And they'll just have naps in between. And it's just, it's rude almost for you to come at 11:30 in an uncommon time because the owner wants to have a rest. I don't want to be working all day. I want to be having work is just something I do fleeting. It's just between my day. It's not my whole day.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, imagine if we find out that like, no, this is the way that you have the happiest life. You know what I mean? It's not like the grind until you're 80 years old.
The happiness index in Venezuela is significantly higher than the happiness index in USA.
Wait, what?
Yeah. This is I can't believe this was a huge thing a couple of years ago.
I mean, not to say that communism is fake, but do you think there's a chance that the government might be rigging those numbers? You know, like some old school Russian shit? No.
I don't think the government
Our people are very happy. Ask this man.
I don't think the government is capable enough to do that. The government is extraordinarily poor.
I know, but I think they weren't though. They have like some of the largest.
It's all privatized. All the oil fields.
No, it only just became privatized, which is better for it. It was public. It was public for so long, and they would just like the reason why the Saudis are so efficient at extracting oil is because they allow people to come in and they're allowed to use like capitalism in order to build.
And it's a mix. It's like a mix between private and state owned.
Yeah, bro. Fucking the Venezuelans up until relatively recently were all state owned. So they have the biggest. I'm pretty sure Venezuela has the biggest oil resources in the world. Yet it was the most inefficient in the world. Like,
really?
Yeah, they was not in the world obviously, but like
they got really rough crude though. I remember doing a lot of research into oil and Venezuelan oil. It's so unfortunate. Like they've got so much bloody oil, but it's very, very crude. So it requires really, really high-end extraction process, and they've got so much fucking government problems.
Well, exactly. And it was all public for so long until I think the last like maybe 2 or 3 years where they're starting to let people come in because the US put sanctions on Venezuela as well. So they weren't even able to have, I think Chevron and a bunch of other companies like that came in and started drilling with approval. But the thing is, when you just leave it up to governments, it's like public farms in Russia. Like they had these things where it's like, okay, the people own the farm, people meaning the government, but we're just going to allow people to be farmers rather than like some big fucking farm owns it all. But then as a result, the Russians killed like a lot of the farmers because it's a lot of the middle class who are kind of trying to revolt against communism. And then suddenly you have people who don't know how to do it, trying to do it, and it just becomes inefficient and fucking dies out. And that was happening with public owned oil fields in Venezuela because like you don't have enough outside influence in order to advance technology. And the Saudis are processing oil like that. And Venezuelans are just like, I don't know, run it through a sift. What do we want to do?
It's really, really sad. It reminds me of the Middle East during the Industrial Revolution. So from 1700 to 1900, the Western world is developing trains, electricity, powerhouses, factories, and the Middle East is just not doing any of it. And so they're just going further and further behind while every other economy is just fucking exponentially increasing.
Which is crazy because
you get stuck behind.
Especially the Middle East, like near the Arabic Peninsula. So like once you go into the deserts of Saudi, it's a bit different. But like especially along Saudi, they were big players throughout history.
Yeah.
Like people think of the Middle East as like these third world countries, but you look at some of the architecture throughout the years, like because there's so much Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. There was such a big interaction, even though there's such a huge distance there, that all of them transferred. You know, like they were able to build crazy technologies throughout the years and stuff like that. And like the Middle East, like I forget which guy did it, but one of the Roman emperors moved Rome, the capital of Rome, to fucking Constantinople, which is Istanbul.
Istanbul now.
And that turned into like I think it wasn't a Babylonian, it was
Ottoman.
No, it was a different name before that. But it's one of those fucking names. Who knows? But essentially, yeah, like that became the capital of fucking Rome for some reason. You know what I mean?
And then probably the capital of the world.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah.
I want to go to Turkey so bad, bro.
Are we going to speak about what's happening in Afghanistan, or is that too heavy?
We can talk about it.
Well, this is the thing. It's extraordinarily sad. So for future listeners, the update is now Taliban has taken over the whole of Afghanistan except for a tiny areas in Kabul, the capital city, which they haven't managed to take yet. But they've massively taken it over, and there's huge suffering, and all the government Afghanis, the ones that was working for the government, are trying to escape and get refugee status somewhere.
Bro, there's videos of people trying to hold onto the wheels of planes in order to like fly away.
Well, you know why?
There was a meme where it showed the fucking it showed the Tom Cruise thing where he's holding onto the plane door, and it's like what the Afghani people think will happen.
well, for them, I really sympathize with them because they're like, we've been helping the Americans this whole time. They know that we've been helping the Americans. I would rather take the chance of possibly surviving and maybe they'll let us in than definitely dying if I stay here.
Bro, that's my brain is wired for like survival because my head is like, there's no such thing as strong ethics in my brain right now. And that's probably like the fucking growing up in a safe country where like you don't have to take a stand for things based on moral belief. But in my head, I'd just be fucking waving the Taliban flag, being like, yeah, no, come in, brothers.
Absolutely, bro. You got to survive.
I'm like, fuck that, bro. I don't care about
It's like the Spanish Inquisition where they forced everyone to be Christian. I'm Christian, bro. Jesus Christ.
Legit,
hell
yeah. dog. I wonder, do you reckon the Taliban have more fundamentalist beliefs?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I don't know enough.
That's the thing.
I'll preface this by saying I do not know enough.
Aside from people associating the Taliban with Osama bin Laden and Al Qaeda, which obviously they're different things, right? Like the Taliban were already a tribe of Islamic people, and then I think the Americans trained them to fight the Russians in the Cold War.
And that was Al Qaeda.
No, Al Qaeda is a terrorist organization.
I don't know enough.
Yeah, the Taliban was the group of people, and Al Qaeda was that. But like there were links between the two, obviously, where they were saying that. But
well, another thing is that there's a very, very famous Arabic saying, which is in English. It's
we don't worry.
Well, it's that Afghanistan is sort of it's known as the graveyard of the Middle East because it's in such a key location. It's always been a slaughterhouse because your borders with Pakistan, your borders with China, you're bordering like Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan. I'm not sure which one, but it leads to Russia. Yeah. And then it borders the Western world, which leads to Western Europe. It's
right next to India.
It is such a key...
It literally...
Yeah, after
Pakistan
India,
lies into India. Yeah. Also, Mongolia's not that far up. And the Mongols fucked Afghanistan.
It's such a key location. It's always been a fucking slaughterhouse.
I wonder, is it a key location purely geographically, or is there any like value? I mean, aside from opium...
It's rich in natural resources.
Oil?
Extraordinary, not oil, like metals, but it's and gold as well. It's extraordinary, and diamonds. All the biggest diamonds in the world that were found in either Africa or in Afghanistan. Yeah. It's so rich in natural resources, but it's a slaughterhouse. It's always been taken over by either US or Russia or Pakistan. It's always being taken over because of how strategic the location is.
Do you think, is it better to, because something like that, a country like that, like let's say a country kind of in a central location in Africa where like there's a lot of natural resources like diamonds and stuff like that, that's also always going to be a target for people.
Yeah.
Do you think it's almost better to have, let's say the US colonized Afghanistan in 2021. This is now part of the US, like Hawaii and stuff like that. And let's say you had your social cultures and stuff like that kind of almost degraded through time, but there was more safety. Do you think an Afghani would rather have their way of life and also have this history of just getting fucked constantly? Or would they rather see their culture like get more westernized, but there's a bit more stability with like, you know, a big power saying like, this isn't just a place we're occupying, this is ours. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so fucked because
it's a really sad.
From a cultural perspective, like a lot of times that's all you've got.
Yeah.
You've got your culture passing down from your people to the next people. So a lot of times dying for your beliefs and your culture is like a fucking very noble and worthwhile cause.
Yeah.
I think just because I there's no culture thing that I identify with so much that I'd be willing to die for it. Like,
I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm taking this from a TikTok that I saw.
Okay.
But do you remember, here's a better question. Would you die for your country?
No.
Do you remember when that was enough? The US and Australia could literally be like, serve for your country. And that was enough for people to sign up. Go on an adventure, serve for your country, help your people.
World War I, if you didn't go and fight for your country, you were looked at as a bitch.
Bro.
Like you were looked at as a
Right.
pussy, bro.
Literally.
And
And
then-
then now it's just it's like, no, I'm not going to serve for my country and fight someone else's agenda.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to do that, that's because that's what I want to do.
I think
Not because I'm not doing it for the country.
I think the Vietnam War ruined, like, so there was already, I think even in the Second World War, which was, so First World War ended like 1919, right?
Yep.
And then the Second World War started 39.
Yep.
So, you know, decent fucking whack of time in between. But even that, there were less people wanting to join. I think because maybe you were able to have correspondence, or there was some understanding, like people maybe could talk to their fathers or their other people who served in the First World, and they saw the difference in the men that came back. Because you got to think, what modern soldiers face today is nothing compared to trench warfare, where you're sitting in mud, you're seeing people's like feet rot while they're still
fucking
alive.
scary, bro.
You know what I mean? Like bodies.
War is scary.
Yeah.
I don't
But
wanna fucking be in
when you
war.
think about that, like there might be someone's body who gets mangled on the barbed wire in front of the trench, which you can't move because there's snipers pinning you down there.
And
you
that's the guy you had lunch with yesterday, by the way.
you have to smell the smell of his rotting body as it starts to
And you
decay
can't take him
right
down.
there.
You just-
Like that shit's fucked, and it really fucked up people. That like World War I was meant to have like dramatic effects. So even through that, there was less people. But then the Vietnam War came, and there was direct coverage. We had reporters in Vietnam telling us what was happening. And it got to the point where, you know, with Agent Orange, we're gassing the fucking rainforests because the Vietnamese people are engaging in guerrilla warfare. And you start thinking to yourself like, yo, we're in their country. They're not the bad guys here. And suddenly people came back. K-Sun, the song, I forget who they're by. It's like a famous band in Australia. But it was a song essentially like when the people came back from Vietnam, they were spat on by the people.
And I don't think the US soldiers that were serving knew that there was this huge liberal movement in America. And suddenly they went home and then everyone was like fucking spitting at them.
Well,
they didn't want to be associated with the military.
Like America's even a different story, because even now the military have like, there's still a deep respect in a lot of states for the military.
Yeah.
Australia, I wonder if it was Vietnam that did it. 56. I wonder if it was Vietnam that did it, but like we don't look at the military the same.
Yeah.
And like, you know, no disrespect to people who are serving in the military, like, you know, good on you and shit. But like in Australia, there is not this fucking, oh, you're serving your country shit. It's like, yo, you're in another country. You know what I mean? Like you're out there doing some shit. And it's fucked because like people talk about, like there's a lot of Americans who say, yeah, but without the American war machine, none of you would be free to do what you do. And I think it's easy in like Australia and like a lot, maybe England or something like that to say
it's
like,
easier to say now that when like, you know, a week after or a month after the fucking US pulls out of Afghanistan, it's now taken over by Taliban after 20 years of them being there, stopping that from happening. Now it's kind of fair enough to be like, okay, now I get why you were there. And now I get what you guys were spending all that money on. But it's at the end of the day, I'm not sure if it's your responsibility or if it's even like if you're even welcome to help someone else through their problem. At the end of the day,
also at the end of the day, let's say the Afghani people wanted the Taliban for some reason, right? And I'm not saying that this is the case, but let's say they did. The Americans aren't going to let that happen.
Yeah,
that's their enemy, and maybe the Afghani people fucking hate Americans. Like, wasn't the whole idea that Osama bin Laden's family members got affected, maybe, or like
I'm not sure.
He was from Kuwait, right? Or was he Osama?
I have no idea. All I know is that there's very few people that are from Kuwait.
Yeah.
Like, because it's such a tiny country. Like, what are the odds that your family's from there?
Yeah, but he came from which family? But anyway, like the reality is, war radicalizes people.
Yeah.
If you see your family get bombed in the name of freedom, and you see these fucking American soldiers walking around thinking they're the top dogs, while they're like you're seeing people suffer,
it's not fun.
At the end of the day, there is a part of you where it's like that's going to build resentment, and there are going to be people who do not think that they're causing terror attacks. They're thinking they're fighting for their people. You know what I'm saying? Like, which it's the whole idea of postmodernism. There's no such thing as truth.
And there's no
only
such thing
people's
as good
perspectives.
and bad side.
Exactly, bruv. Like it's
Everyone thinks that they're doing the right
Germany
thing.
won World War II, the Holocaust would have been a just thing.
Yeah.
Which is fucked. That's crazy that if they won and they took over Europe would have seen it as such. And they would have seen the Jewish people as these horrible, you know, fucking people. But it's like, I mean, thank God they fucking lost, because it's like people don't realize it was 6 million Jews. I think it was 10 million total, with like fucking Arabic and Gypsy people and like people who were, you know, mentally retarded. Is that the word?
I don't think they got. Did you say Arabic? Did they also target Arabic?
I might be confusing. A lot of Gypsy people come from
Gypsy,
like India and
gay
Egypt
people,
and stuff
musicians, even. It was just anything that was artsy.
Yeah.
Anything that was not bloody, I don't know, a banker or something.
Yeah. Well, they got a lot
actually,
of bankers.
no, probably the bankers.
They got
as
a lot of
well,
bankers,
yeah.
guys.
That was probably what started it.
I think Goldman shut down right after that. But it's so fucked. Like people being persecuted for like their belief. It's crazy. That's what's fucked about like with the Taliban, because you just don't know how they're gonna run it. You know what I mean? Is it gonna be full persecution for a lot of like the people who want to experience?
It comes down to wait, watch what happens, and
Didn't you see they released something about like a woman who's unfaithful will be given like 50 lashes or something like that. Like some proper old school barbaric shit.
Yeah, I saw the thing where they're not going to allow women to go without what's it called, like a supervisor or something like that. Which in one of my hands I was like, firstly, like fuck, that's fucked. But secondly, if it was my girlfriend, I would not want her to be out without me there in Afghanistan.
Yeah, but it's like, not about the want.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
about the inability.
Yeah, it's about the inability. But if I'm honest, I would probably want the same.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's a big difference between you helping someone out and like being there for someone and you forcing them to do something.
Yeah, I think I got too many like female people I care about in my life where I'm like, nah, it's disrespectful.
Absolutely, bro.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Absolutely.
That's why, like, bro, literally just me going to an Arab country. Like, obviously I want to go to because I'm really interested in the Middle East. But like, the idea that if I kissed my girl in Dubai, that there'd be issues.
It's not about issues. It's just a different culture.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't matter. Like,
but it's about respecting the culture.
Okay, but if the
so
culture,
are you going to eat pork are you going to bring pork with you to Indonesia and just eat it in front of everyone?
Can you remember when Putin's minister said like, "Oh, we should up the pork," and then
Putin's
just like,
"Port to Indonesia."
Putin's like, "They don't eat pork in Indonesia," and he's like, "Oh, yes."
Oh,
Putin's just like this fucking idiot.
Bro, the intern or the fucking whoever did the research for the project, he's just got fired. So bad.
But it's about like certain cultures. Like I do not respect the culture that's fucking. I do not respect parts of a culture which is stupid, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
So like the pork thing, I don't really care. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'll eat beef. That's fine. But like the idea, like if I went to a place and my girl couldn't drive because of that place's thing, I'm like, well, that's a
pretty
stupid fucking thing.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
It's and at the same time,
it's the whole idea of respecting another culture. Like surely you've got to do that. If you're going to a different culture, a different country, it's your job to adapt it. Whether you agree with it or not, like you're going to their country.
I think that's silly. Because if that's the case, then nothing would ever change.
Well, it's not up to you to change it.
That's fine.
And why are you?
But
saying
if their culture is that women are second-class citizens,
no. If it's not that,
but if it is that,
it's just around here we don't
respect women.
No. Around here we don't respect public displays of affection. Like that, it's just not what our culture is, and having it is not necessarily good. It's just different.
No, but the difference is the repercussions for it.
Yeah, but there's no legal. You're not going to be thrown in jail.
I thought you could actually get like in trouble for it.
You'll get in trouble if you have sex in public or something like that. But essentially, you can be kicked out of a mall if you're sitting there kissing your girlfriend like in front of.
Can't you like not hold her hand and shit like that?
You can hold her hand. Yeah, absolutely, you can hold her hand. Right. Especially because UAE is so bloody tourism. Like it's such a tourism.
Let's say you don't go. Let's say you go Saudi. Like what's the capital of Saudi?
Riyadh.
Let's say you go there. Can you do it there?
I've never been to Riyadh. I've never been. You know, they only recently started allowing tourism.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't have a visa option for Western countries until like 3 or 4 years ago.
Can you get a Jordanian passport?
Jordanian?
Yeah.
I think relatively easily because it's Jordan is a very strange country because it's bordering so many. I don't want to say fucked countries, but like it borders Syria, borders Palestine, borders.
What else does it border again?
Like Syria, Palestine,
what's the other one
on the top, Egypt.
What's the other one next to the? What's the other one too?
Don't know what you're talking about. but there's Egypt on the bottom. Obviously, a lot of refugees coming from there.
Yeah.
Syria on the right. Obviously, a lot of refugees. Bloody Lebanon from the top, Palestine on the left. Like it's surrounded with countries where people are trying to escape.
Yeah.
So it's a country full of people doing relatively well.
There's just a no-nonsense government in Saudi where like
no, but yeah, well the whole idea
try come here, bro.
Yeah, well the whole idea that people are there because it's the safest place to be. So very few people are from Jordan.
Yeah.
It's just a country full of immigrants.
And they've got the coolest thing.
What do they have?
Petra, bro.
It's
dope. It's just so cool.
Petra's amazing, man. It is a true wonder. I really recommend everyone to go visit it. It's spectacular. Shit like that makes you realize how crazy, like the feats of like the beauty of what humans can create.
Yeah.
With very little technology.
Bro, it's wild.
With a hammer and a chisel. That's it. Maybe a rock.
Oh, it's so fucking cool, man. It makes me miss travel so bad.
Yeah, I miss travel so much, man.
That's why, like, to me, when I think about the Great Wall of China, like, respect and shit because you, like, built it. But at the
When
same
was it
time,
built?
Who fucking knows? But it's a wall, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's a very, very big wall.
Sure. It's not very big and tight.
But length.
Sure.
You can see it from space.
You can't. That's a myth.
It's a myth?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There was an interview with an astronaut. It's like, every astronaut has tried. No one has seen it. Great marketing because everyone believes it.
I wonder if you could easily see the Earth and like determine which country was which from space. Or if it just looked like a big cluster of green.
I think you could, well, it depends
Because a
where
world
you are.
map does not, I'm sure a world map doesn't look like what, and I wonder if, like, you know, you have blue skies in a country. Well, you're looking at a relatively tiny space of the sky. But I wonder if there's ever a blue sky day from space.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Where you can just clearly look at, okay, that's where China is. And remember, on the Earth, there's no fucking borderlines.
I think big countries, I think if you gave me a map, I could, that'd be an interesting one.
A map without borders.
I think if you gave me a map without borders, every big country I could do.
But you won't know where China turns into Mongolia, when Mongolia turns into Pakistan, or like, you know, where it separates.
I think I could have an idea. I think I could have an idea, like, let's say you say plus or minus a country. So if you let's say you chose like here's Mongolia. I'm just using hands for people listening. Here's Mongolia and you choose here and it's Russia. You'd be like, okay, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, but once you start going to like countries in the Balkans, like Serbia or fucking Croatia, like I'll have no fucking idea exactly.
Good fucking luck.
But with the big ones, with the big Euros, with the big Asian countries, I can name where Bhutan is, bro. Thanks, GeoGuessr.
Can you?
I can name where fucking Andorra is.
I have Bhutan and Andorra.
Yo, shout out to Andorra, bro.
Shout out to GeoGuessr.
That was a good game.
First ever Tinge of Milk Bucket.
Yeah.
First ever video. I would like to go back and listen to that one.
Bro,
maybe we can do a remembrance.
One day we should release the episode where Aaron raged.
Yeah. Do we have the recording on that?
I don't know.
I don't even know,
the thing is, I had to wipe my computer, but I think I must have put it on.
And I always delete it because I only have like 256 gigs.
I think I must have put it on a hard drive when I deleted my computer because there's no way I just deleted that.
All right, boys. I think we're going to end it off here. I'm not sure where it ended, but my computer's, as I was just speaking about that, is dangerously low space.
No, it's an hour 7. We did it.
Oh, beauty, boys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. What's the secret word we're going to use? Afghanistan. Love and hope you guys are staying all right. Either Afghanistan or Taliban. Find a way to put that.
Find a way to use them both. Afghanistan was raped and pillaged by the Taliban. Fucking hell.
Shit, that rhymes.
Jeez. Yo, is that the new
boys.
Eminem vibe?
Yeah. Anyway, boys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you join the Discord. Links in the bio.
Links in the bio, baby. Make sure you
boys.
like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon. We got a video probably coming out next week, which was 2 lies and 1 truth with the buckets. Me, Baz, and Aaron, we all told 3 stories, and the buckets had to figure out which one was the lie. There was a few spicy moments, so make sure you hit that up next week. Make sure you subscribe to the Instagram, the TikTok. Give us a 5-star review on Google and Apple Podcasts. We actually got a few more. I reckon next episode, let's read out the fucking things.
Hell yeah, bro.
We were talking about that last week
reviews.
before we completely forgot. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you want to get read out and get a shout out, make sure you go fucking review us now.
Cheers, boys.
Anyway, have a good one, lads. See ya.
See you next week.
See ya.